Howdy everyone. Welcome to This Old Vegan. My name is Merlene Vassell. These are the petunia seedlings at 6 weeks old. I planted them in pots on my porch steps to brighten up the front of my house. I also planted some of the petunias in my backyard in this ornamental wheelbarrow. There's the first flower that bloomed. And eventually I got this beautiful display. As you know from my previous videos, I planted a zucchini plant and a yellow squash plant in my side yard. These first two plants were killed by vine borers, so I ended up planting a couple more seeds and eventually planting another zucchini plant and yellow squash plant in the side yard. I was able to harvest quite a bit of squash over the summer. I had also planted string beans, but didn't really harvest them, probably because I don't particularly like string beans. Most of my plants were grown under a protective tent in the backyard. Here's my first big harvest of tomatoes, squash, misshapen carrots, tiny little onions, and Swiss chard. This is the second harvest of the same plants. I harvested the Swiss chard by cutting off a few big leaves at a time and leaving the young leaves in the middle to continue growing. And here are the world's tiniest bell peppers. I've yet to figure out how to get them to grow big. While they were on the plant, a lot of the bell peppers were eaten by the squirrels, or sometimes the squirrels just took them off the plant and then threw them away. They did the same thing with my tomatoes as well, and also the eggplants. My eggplants didn't grow very well, and the few that did grow were eaten by squirrels or just pulled off the plant and, left to go to waste. Fortunately, the one eggplant that did grow well, I was able to save for seeds, so I'll be able to plant them again next year. And next year, instead of putting them in pots, I'll plant them directly in the soil in the side yard. And here's another big harvest. More misshapen carrots, a bell pepper, tiny onions, Swiss chard, and that's about it. Now, the kale that I planted has its own story. As you see here, initially, it looked really great, and I harvested a few leaves. Unfortunately, when I brought them inside and began washing them, I discovered caterpillars. I brought the leaves and the caterpillars back outside and put them in the pot with the plants. The caterpillars completely stripped the kale plants of all of their leaves. For some reason, I kept most of the kale plants off to the side, and eventually the kale began to grow back once the weather cooled and the caterpillars were gone. As you see here, the kale is growing, as is the Swiss chard. I haven't harvested any of the kale yet, but I do plan to eat that this fall along with the Swiss chard as long as they continue to grow. Here are a few pictures of some of the food that I harvested. I didn't remember to take pictures of everything. And as far as farming again, I plan to do this next year, most likely. However, I will make some adjustments so that I can have some better outcomes. I love watching the plants grow. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching the video, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.